Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this one, if you could just hit that big red button down below, that would massively help me out trying to get to 8,000 by the end of the season, so any little helps. Today's video, though, is going to be about Leeds United's team, first 11, and how I think we should line up for the run-in for the rest of the season. There's not many games left now, and I think we're sort of finally discovering who our best 11 is, barring some injuries, of course. So let's just get straight into it. Of course, in goal, we're going to have to go for Illan Meslier. Much improved this season. I think he's been fantastic. I think one or two mistakes, but a lot of those mistakes that we saw in the Premier League are coming out of his game, and I think that helps having a competent defence in front of him. He seems more confident claiming things. He has been punching things a lot and not catching things maybe when he should, but I think overall he's the best shot stopper we have, and you have to put Illan Meslier in there. Remember, of course, this whole team is just my opinion, so get your opinion down in the comments below and we can chat about it. Then at right back. Now, Archie Gray's been playing at right back for most of this season, but we did bring Connor Roberts in January, and I think he's the one that has to start now, especially because his link up with other players that we're going to put in this team is invaluable, and I think it's going to be really helpful in the run-in to try and create stuff down that right-hand side. So Connor Roberts is going to go in at right back. Right centre-back, of course, has to be Joe Rodon. He's been fantastic this season. He's been amazing. He's heading everything away. He's playing things along the deck as well. He knows when to charge into midfield. He knows when to come forward. He's been really, really good for us this season. So Joe Rodon in at right centre-back. Now, if we had Pascal Struijk fit, I'm still not sure I would pick him over Ethan Ampadu, because Ethan Ampadu, whilst he is a holding midfielder and he's right-footed, has been amazing at left centre-back. And that partnership between him and Joe Rodon, this year, they've only conceded, 3 goals? I think it's something stupid like they've only conceded 3 goals in 12 games. It's mental. And yeah, those two have been fantastic together. So you have to keep that consistent. You have to keep that going. So for me, that's going to be Ampadu. Now, at left back, barring any more injuries, I'm going to go for Sam Byram. I really am, because I think Junior Firpo, whilst he offers a bit going forward, he's not great defensively. We saw in the Sheffield Wednesday game, he tried to pass that ball backwards towards Ampadu, I think it was, and ended up just like slicing the ball. It just sort of bobbled straight to a Sheffield Wednesday player. At that point in the game, that could have been really dangerous for Leeds, and it's not something we can afford to have mistakes like that in the team. And also, whilst people say, oh, well, Byram's good defensively and Firpo's good going forward, I actually think that Byram is better going forward as well. I know Firpo, we're just coming off the back of Firpo putting that really good ball into the box for Bamford's goal against Sheffield Wednesday just this Friday night gone. But I do think that Byram does offer a bit more going forward and defensively, so he just seems more solid, the more solid option, and I think that's what you need. You need consistency at this point in the season going into these final games. So Byram goes in at left back. Now, the two holding midfielders, Ilya Gruev has been fantastic since he's come into the team. He's tough tackling, he's running back and getting those slide tackles in, getting those ball recoveries. He's been really good. His distribution's good as well. He's strong, he's physical for somebody of his stature. He's tall, but he's quite thin and quite, not frail, but he's got a small frame, let's say, even though he's quite tall. But I think he's been brilliant, and I think he has to keep his position in the team. Now, this one is where we're going to put Archie Gray next to him. Now, Glenn Kamara has had really, really good moments this season, really good moments, and I think he's one of those players where he can be the difference in games in terms of breaking a press and stuff, but he's not consistent enough. He won't shoot when he has the chance. He very rarely plays long passes. And I think that Archie Gray actually offers a little bit more. Now, I talked about this in my live stream, actually. I said how genuinely, and I think it's a compliment and a diss to Glenn Kamara, but I think he is like the rich man's Glenn Kamara. He is Glenn Kamara. The rich man's Adam Forshaw. He keeps hold of the ball well. He is very tidy. He likes to turn a man, go past someone, and then play a little simple pass. He doesn't really ever like to pass over long distances. He doesn't really like to shoot. He is literally like Adam Forshaw, but better, I would say. He's that mould of player, let's say. So I think Archie Gray offers you a little bit more in terms of tackling. I think he's earned his position in the team. Look, the way he played against Chelsea and got man of the match was ridiculous. So I think you put Archie Gray back in midfield and give him the run-in to play in his preferred position. Now we get onto the attacking roles. in the right midfield slot, we are going to go for Dan James. I backed Dan James right from the start of the season. I said he's going to be player of the season. Whilst he's probably not going to be player of the season, his goal contributions cannot be understated. He has absolutely blown past what anybody thought of him prior to this season, and I think that he's been unbelievable, and I think he deserves that place down that right hand side. Now, this is what I was talking about with that link up as well with Connor Roberts. I think the fact that Dan James could go in there at right midfield next to Connor Roberts, I think that really helps because they have that link up. Connor Roberts likes to go ahead, likes to actually pick up a position in the box and create a more attacking option alongside Dan James. And of course, they know each other so well from playing together for the national team. So I think that makes sense to have those two down there. Now, on the left-hand side, Somerville hasn't been in great form recently, but I think he's a game changer. He's the sort of player where you say, oh, you can't afford to carry passengers, but I do genuinely think that Somerville is the sort of player where you kind of just have to play him. You've got Nonto as a backup for either that left-hand side or that right-hand side. But I do think that Crescencio Somerville has to be the one that goes in on that left-hand side, cutting in on his right foot and trying to bend it round the goalkeeper. He'll definitely get a few more of them this season before it's over. Jorginho has to go in the number 10. For me, Jorginho has to go in that number 10 role. He just provides so much there. His ability to spin a man, his ability to drive the ball forward, drive the team forward, create counter-attacks, really link up the play in those attacking phases is brilliant. He just needs to improve his shooting, but I'm sure that will come at some point. So Jorginho has to come in there. Now, number 9 is another bit of a contentious one because I've had a lot of people say to me over the past few weeks, whether that be on live streams or in comments of videos, Mateo Joseph should be starting over Patrick Bamford. Now, Mateo Joseph had an excellent game against Chelsea, scored 2 goals, and he's had a good game since when he's come in and played a little bit of a cameo role. I think Mateo Joseph is brilliant, but I think he's brilliant as a backup because at the moment, Patrick Bamford is in really good form. He's scoring, he's getting himself in the right place at the right time, he's opening up spaces for his teammates. The way he held the ball up for the one against Sheffield Wednesday where Meslier clipped it over with that free kick, he held it, leant back into his man, held it up, popped it back to Jorginho for it then to go through to Nonto to score. I think Bamford offers something that most players that we have don't offer. In fact, all players that we have don't really offer that hold-up play and his ability to create space for other people. He also knows how to play the striker role so well. He makes those runs so well, like he did to the back post to put that one in the back of the net against Sheffield Wednesday. So I think for me, Bamford has to be in the number 9 role with, of course, Mateo Joseph on the bench. So on the bench, you'd have Mateo Joseph, Wilfred Nonto, one of the spare keepers, so Klaassen or Darlow. Then you'd have a Cooper, a Cresswell maybe, and who else have we got? Firpo on the bench, and Glenn Kamara on the bench. I think that offers you a very, very balanced side in terms of who you can bring on in those situations. So, yeah, if I was Daniel Farke, that would be the team I was picking with the bench I was picking for the rest of the season. Of course, he might not do that, but I do think that's probably our best team going forward into these games. But that's just my opinion. I just wanted to talk about what I thought our best 11 is and how we should play in these final games of the season. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. Of course, this is just my opinion, so don't get too angry at me for not picking your favourite player, but put them down in the comments below who you might have picked over them, or even put your full 11 down there, and then it'll be interesting to see, and I'll just give you a little like on them when I go through and have a look at them, so you know I've seen them. So yeah, thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.